Hi, welcome to Cryptic Crunch. Oh, I am so happy that everybody's here, and it's going to be a party for sure tonight. You guys stay tuned. I'll get back to you in just a moment. All right, welcome to Cryptic Crunch. I am your host, Willow Schuyler, and the following podcast may be disturbing to some hard cryptid hunters. We're all here to have a good time, so sit back, have a drink, and let's learn together about myths, monsters, and legends. And tonight, we're going to learn about the Lady in White, or the White Lady in some cases. I have the Ice Cream Queens. I have my co-host Aubrey from Back with the Cereal Box, and Keisha.
Hi guys. You know what? I'm making this a regular thing now. It's weird.
I love this.
So, just as a forewarning to all of those of you who do not know, I still have little ones, and they will probably cry at some point. So, I'm sorry if I have to make any sudden movements out of the room.
It is fine. You have a house full of children.
Heathens. Oh yes, children. That is what people call them. So yes, my girls are having a sleepover tonight. So I have 5 girls in the house tonight, and it's fun.
All right, so if you hear screaming, nobody's being murdered that we know of.
Actually, they might be. We will see.
All right. So, Aubrey, hi. This is your first time on Cryptic Crunch. Welcome. Glad that you could.
Thank you for having me.
Wait, no, you've been on here before, haven't you?
I think once before.
Yes.
For
way back in the day.
The Christmas episode.
Right. I wasn't drinking that day.
I'm drinking tonight. Just warning
That's
everyone.
Fine. That's fine. I think the Ice Cream Queens are here as well, and I believe that they'll be drinking too. So you're not.
Cheers.
I took a pain pill. I can't tonight, but that's fine.
I got my water, so we're good.
Water.
Okay, me and Lauren are drinking some water.
Yeah.
I'm just admiring what Magda was drinking. Can you show that again? Is that whiskey?
It says it's poison. I love it.
It's poison.
Hey, you know what?
I believe it says poison on one side and arsenic.
Nice.
In honor of the White Lady episode, I have Snow Queen. I don't know if you guys have ever had sake, but this is sake. And I also
when I was a
put
teenager,
in some orange bites to kind of give it a little bit of a tang.
Fun.
I feel like if I drank that now that I'm not a teenager, I would probably not make it to tomorrow's wake up call, like at all.
This is
my
the closest
bedtime.
thing.
My bedtime is like 9 o'clock at the latest
gorgeous.
now.
What are you drinking, DL? That is like cloudy white looking.
It's Copper Key Absinthe.
I was about to say it looks like absinthe.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Yes.
Lovely.
Yes. That's why I was running a little bit late getting here, because as those of you know, takes a minute to make it.
You know what I find funny as well? Everyone has like the drinkings except for us two. Also, everyone else is completely dressed in white except for
us. Lauren, I feel like we were just vibing. Lauren, I feel like we were just vibing tonight. We were like, we're gonna do the opposite of what everybody else is doing.
Right?
It's okay, you guys could be the lady in green tonight.
Hey, yes.
We'll make our own way.
It's got some white in it. It's gray.
I'm just the Riddler tonight. I'm wearing like Riddler.
I love it. Nice. Very nice.
So
we
much.
already got to see boobs on the show. I like this.
Cheers to that.
I know. Anytime there's a display of cleavage, we are very happy. And
Okay, for those of you that don't know,
displaying
this will go completely off the rails tonight. I feel like
absolutely.
having all of us together is not a good idea, but a great idea at the same time.
You have no idea.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of craziness, we have people in the chat already having conversations. So
Already.
first up is Don Doulas. Hello, Don.
Hi.
I'm here early, so
Dawn.
I don't forget. Carl Witzman.
Says hi, Dawn.
Says hi, Dawn.
Everyone say hi. All right, everyone say hi, Dawn.
Hi,
Dawn.
Donna, Carly, Carlene. Hey there.
Hey, Donna.
Went in the wrong room, but in here with the cool kids now.
Glad
As
you
long as
found
you
your way,
found us.
Donna.
Carl says, now we all need is Dan. And not far
He's
behind.
here.
is
Dan is
here.
Dang it. I was going to say, Dan's not here.
I like those. Yeah. Carl says, hail, hail, the gang's all here.
Should that be hail, hail, or hail, hail as in HELL, HELL? Oh,
Probably that one.
Hell, the gang's all here.
Hell, the gang's all here.
Carl says, hello, Willow, possibly Keisha, and the ice cream.
Possibly, Keisha. Carl, I'm hurt.
And then we have Eli T. Cash,
Eli.
Our favorite.
Our favorite.
everybody's favorite crazy man.
I mean, he's
Oh.
okay.
We have Tabitha.
Hello.
Good evening.
Hello, Tabitha.
Howdy.
And James Scott. What's up from I know I'm going to say this word wrong. I'm sorry. Edinburgh, Scotland.
Edinburgh.
Ooh.
Say it again.
Say it again.
Scotland.
Thank you.
Now say
You're
it
just going to
slower.
have to talk the whole episode.
Maybe a little
Let me
breathier.
listen to you talk.
Please. Please.
And then Brian Huff is here.
No rails, there's no
There are
rails.
rails. There are rails. There is a train, but it's all crashed and.
So,
on
does
fire.
anybody remember the little, like the little cars that you would get at like different little amusement parks? They were really hard to drive. They were old timey cars. They were usually on the rails. I feel like we're driving in one of those, and we're just bumping all the way around, and it's just a hot mess, waiting to catch on fire. I don't know.
Oh, wait. You mean things aren't already on fire? Because I feel like I should go put it out then.
Okay, no fun. Well, I got this behind me. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's funny because my husband has gotten into the train hobby, and I feel like I'm like one step away from being the Adams family.
That's not a bad step.
No.
But he won't let me crash the trains though.
Dang. Well, that is an expensive hobby for those who have never really gotten into it. It is a extremely expensive hobby. I thought that the Geek Gumshoe was going to get into it for a while, and then I priced it, and I'm like, I'd rather you golf.
Oh, being into trains?
Yes.
You act like we don't have an entire train set in the basement and little mountains and like little hills and everything. I would like we have to vacuum the fake grass. It's a little intense. I'm not gonna lie, but I love it. Also, if you don't get the wires right, it electrocutes you a little. Super fun.
That explains a lot. Thank you for letting us know that. All of a sudden, he should just.
Kinky. Did you say kinky, Lauren?
Wait, who said?
Can we talk? Can we talk later, Lauren?
Said that.
I was supposed to spend the afternoon with Lauren. I didn't realize there was kink involved.
Sorry. If it makes you feel any better, with all of the physical activity, I pulled a muscle in my neck.
Okay, wait.
Doing what?
Putting together a trampoline.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That's what they're calling it now.
All that bouncy.
It is quite bouncy.
I call that cunnilingus.
We do have a topic, but
We have a topic.
We have a topic. Okay.
topic.
We
Oh
do.
yeah.
I love James' comment here. If I came on and it was just me and Magda talking, how many of you would understand us?
I feel
I
like
would
I'd be able
understand.
to follow. I feel like I'd be able to follow.
You've had experience, so you know.
See, okay, I can understand Scottish people talking, but getting people from Newfoundland talking, no. That's where my attention span loses it, because even as a Canadian, it's like, what are they saying? I don't even know what language they are speaking. It's not Irish, it's not Celtic, it's not anything. It's like, I swear, it's made up words.
I speak
Pretty much like being
ADHD, so as long as they're saying some sort of words, my brain kind of tacks it together.
Some of us are from the deep south. I'm looking at Lauren. I'm actually looking at Magda, but I know you're not from here originally, and that's why your voice is so pretty in comparison. But Lauren, you're not either. You'll know every
I'm
now
not.
and then.
No. I literally almost failed
What is
school
this?
when it's a good.
Thank you.
I almost failed school when I moved here as a child from Wisconsin to Mississippi because I could not understand what my teachers were even saying to me. No clue. My three worst subjects: history, science, and I think it was like spelling or something. She taught me those three subjects, and she was like deep South accent. And then I also almost got expelled because sorry, I'm just going on a tangent here. I'm telling you my life story.
You're fine.
That's okay. We're used to it.
I almost got expelled as well because she came in and she asked me a question and I said yes, because that was the answer to the question. And she goes, "Yes, what?" And I went,
Yes, that's correct.
"Yes, please." And she thought I was being like mean or something because I didn't know to say ma'am. I got sent to the principal's office. My mom was so mad. She came in and she was like, "We don't say ma'am. Where we're from, ma'am is a madam of a whorehouse."
Oh no.
So yeah, go mom.
Nice.
No. In all honesty, we don't say ma'am in the South either. She was just being a pain in the ass because okay, so I grew up in the deep South when there was help, and that is how you address the help was ma'am.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so you know.
Speaking of the Deep South, is there any white lady myths from the South?
Oh, definitely.
There's so many.
Lauren, did you have any?
You guys, I have crying downstairs, so I will be right back. It's one of the older girls.
Oh no.
I did a deep dive on a whole bunch of different mini legends because I know that you were going to go into like two kind of very specific ones. And so I was like, I'm going to get the broad, like the entire concept idea as to what's behind it. And I have theories,
Okay.
but I want someone to go ahead and like, let's get into what even is this specific type of ghosty and like kind of get into it a little bit before I come up with my like aliens theory, except it's not aliens, but let's go.
Well, honestly, the white lady, and truthfully, it just depends on what she's associated with. But the white lady is something that you see in association with just about every culture, every country. Everybody has a tale, and it's generally associated with unrequited love. It is generally a tale of loss, whether it is love loss, children loss, and it's just one of those that you see constantly, even if you don't realize that you are watching a story about the lady in white. For instance, the Corpse Bride is a perfect example. She basically is the tale of a lady in white, or in her case, lady in blue. I am from the Memphis area, hence the name. That's not just serendipitous, but but I'm from the Memphis area, and Overton Park, which is one of the major. Good Lord, I don't know who mixed this, but it's really strong. So if I start slurring already, I am so sorry. But okay, but I will just say, Overton Park is known for a blue lady, which is the traditional story of the lady in white. She was waiting for a lost love who either the lover killed her or somebody else killed her, and her ghost haunts um, the Overton Park area, and she's seen wandering around the lake and wearing blue. But there are a lot of stories. This was something when you started looking to it, you started to realize just how deep and far back it goes.
Yes. No, I was when you brought up the subject, I was like, oh yeah, no, I can research this one ghost. That's fine. Let's do an episode on that. And then I realized it's not one. It's like there's my favorite one was Disneyland's Lady in White. Apparently, lost kids some lady in white will walk up to them and like take them up to the kid area, be like, you need to wait here for your mommy and daddy, and then no one sees her. Like they don't know what is going on with that. Also, there's a ton of really cool footage of like her traveling around the parks or like on rides and things. So if you get really bored, Google that.
Okay,
that one was
now I'm gonna have to go down this rabbit hole because I want to.
That is neat.
I want to go to Disney World just to get lost now.
I think this was specifically to Disneyland, so California, but
it is easy to do. Get lost in Disney, very easy.
Oh gosh, we needed to stay like double the time that we did. There was so much to do.
Huh. I'll have to. We might have to do a part 2 to this.
So I will say that the earliest that I saw was 1486 of an actually recorded, written, and it was the one from Germany, from the Hohenzollern family. It's a castle. Mm-hmm. It was supposed to be a countess. And it said she became a nun and died as an abbess of the monastery. But 1486, that's the earliest like recorded, and that's in Germany. But before then they have like the Netherlands, and Hawaii has a beautiful story. Santa Cruz, California has one. But I sent a picture to Willow of one that they have an actual picture of, supposedly in 1991 in Bachelor's Grove. No living person was visible at the time, but the photograph clearly shows a human figure seated. The nose is rescinded into the face and does not seem to be prevalent, which she appears white under infrared light, and she is given a translucent appearance, and her feet disappear into the grass.
That's cool.
That's the one that's like recorded that I was like, I know it's later on, but it's kind of interesting that it's the only one that's a white lady picture, supposedly.
So, question, when y'all were looking this up, did you see like a whole bunch of similarities in this? Now, like, I'll go ahead with my theory while we're in the middle of it. I delved whatever. I went into a whole bunch of different cases, and I noticed a lot of the same things. Like Dale was saying, it's a lot of unrequited love, a lot of children lost, stuff like that. I did notice all of the cases I looked at were all outside. So like on roads, in the woods, a lot of it had to do with travel in a carriage or in a car.
One of the ones that I was looking at, she supposedly haunts the house. But nobody actually died in the house. Somebody was shot outside of the house.
That's not uncommon.
Yeah.
By her obviously ex-fiance, because he shot her. But
the story. I'm sorry. I'm going to jump in. The story of Mary, who is associated with the Memphis Orpheum, who is the young child that everybody claims to see. She was actually killed outside of the Orpheum, but supposedly her ghost is haunting. She has a seat that she's Sadly, the seat is no longer there. They took it up for renovation so they could house Phantom of the Opera. But it's not uncommon for people to have a death outside of a property and have a ghost inside.
So some of the other things I did notice is a lot of the Lady in White seem to be near very treacherous turns, bends in the road, the Devil's Bend, near bodies of water. A lot of them were like a car went into the lake, the husband ran to get help, and then the white bride is missing. So yeah, a lot of stuff like that. Outside, water, roads, traveling. So here's where my conspiracy theory comes in. Okay, I don't think it's a ghost with this many different ones and all of this around. And like I said, conspiracy theory, but I think if we're talking about cryptids, I think it's a kind of fae.
See, this is where I come in. This is where I come in. See, nearly every single cottage or castle of any historical value in Scotland has got some sort of ghost. There's the White Lady that haunts the Balgay Bridge in Dundee. There's Craig's Castle, which is in Aberdeenshire, which is actually lucky enough to have two. They have a White Lady and a Green Lady. There's St Andrews Cathedral is so huge. There's the cathedral itself, and then there's the ruins around it. There's the former abbey, there's the wall, there's the haunted tower. They have several different ones. Specifically, there are two there. There's one that is meant to be a nun. That is a particularly sad story of a lady who was unrequited, so to speak, a gent that she loved and threw her over for someone else, and so she disfigured herself and then took the vows to become a nun and would wear a veil. And if you saw her and she beckoned towards you, she'd remove her veil, and if you saw her face, it would drive you mad. But as far as the fae goes, there's actually in the Scottish Highlands, there is a creature known as a Bavanshee.
Oh, okay.
The
You have a different one. I have a different one. Let's go. Yeah.
The Bavanshee is a bit like a vampire, really, or a succubus. She's known to generally only attack males, and almost always after they've said out loud that they wished for the companionship of a woman. And part of that goes back to the fact that there is a theory, a superstition in the Highlands that you don't say a wish out loud at night without first invoking the protection of God, because if you do, it's going to come true, and in the worst way possible. Nice. And this creature would appear dressed in white. Eli says wesps. Don't follow the wesps. Yeah, if
don't
you know
follow
me,
them.
you know, don't follow the wesps. It's another example. Don't go with the fae. Don't ask for them. Don't tell them where you are. Don't give them your name. But this particular lady in white would appear as the most beautiful creature that whoever had wished to see a woman had ever seen, and then she would seduce them and then kill and drain their blood or eat them.
That's awesome. Okay, so
one last thing.
Okay, some people's wish come true though.
My absolute favorite though, just because of the concept of it, is there's actually the White Lady pub that's in Edinburgh, and it takes its name from a brutal murder that happened on the causeway out in front of it, and after this brutal murder, it was said to be haunted by a woman in white, a ghostly figure carrying a bloody sword.
Oh, that's so cool.
That's the best version I think so far. So she's a vampire.
I aspire to be that version.
She attacks men who like catcall women, like, "Oh, I wish I could get laid." Nope, killing that one.
It was a lady.
It was the bloody sword.
Well, she took it from the gentleman that scorned her and killed him with it. So she was the lover of a lord who was known to be a carouser, and she found out that he was going with several other different ladies, and she had her maid tell him to come meet her among a grove of sycamore trees. And when he appeared, she fought with him, and he made the mistake of going on a tirade at her and cursing at her and saying rude things, which he later wished he hadn't, because she then drew his sword from his belt and stabbed him through with it and then chopped him to bits.
Oh, wow.
She was later arrested and was executed, but her ghost was said to soon after begin haunting that sycamore grove, and later they chopped down all of those trees, but the stump where he was killed is still there, and it's not far from the pub, the White Lady.
Oh.
Okay,
Wow.
I find that very interesting that everything up until the very end where she stabbed him and cut him to bits was straight out of The Corpse Bride. No, I'm dead serious. It really was. If you retell the story and think about it in reference to The Corpse Bride, it is pretty much a retelling. However, the end of it is not the same. So
Well, there's one other interesting cultural reference when it comes to the White Lady is there was actually an opera that was written sometime in the 1820s, I think, is titled The White Lady, and it's set in Scotland during the Jacobite period. And it was actually inspired by two novels that were sort of mixed together. The one was The Monastery and the other was called Guy Mannering. And they took elements of both and mixed them together to create The White Lady, which was an opera that was played over and over again. And there were several productions all over the UK, not just in Scotland. But I think the last time that it was shown that they had a production was in Edinburgh, I think, actually, in the late 1800s. So it's all over the cultural landscape.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious because Aubrey commented that the first account of the White Lady that she discovered was in the 1400s.
Mm-hmm.
What did you find researching like the Scotland and UK? What was the first account?
Well, it's hard to say because if we're speaking of, say, St. Andrews, St. Andrews was built around 1100. So it could be as early as that. But as far as specific ones, most of the ones that I found, let's see, such as the Lady in White from the pub in Edinburgh was in 1679. But from what I'm finding, it seems to be somewhere between 11 and 14. Yeah. That would be, it seems to be about the age where you first start seeing it spoken of. But then there's a lot of examples of things like this that were not written down. I mean, in Gaelic culture, there wasn't writing until much later. So it was all oral tradition. So it could be earlier ones that we just don't know because they didn't get passed down.
Aubrey is like twitching.
Yeah.
You have
go
something.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, there's lots of different white ladies now that, this has become like a phenomenon. We've been talking about that. They also have cocktails named after her, songs named after her, species of butterflies and plants. So, and a spider, which I'm scared of spiders, but there's a white lady spider also. So
can I random question us?
Yes,
if
go
you
right
were
ahead.
going to make your own cocktail called the White Lady, what would you put in it? Because mine would totally be coconut.
Oh, I don't like coconut.
I don't know. This looks pretty much like a white lady to me, and it's absinthe. So, by the way,
there's
do I
significantly
really
less
look
than that
dead?
You look
do
gorgeous.
I feel like I look like I'm a corpse.
You are a beautiful corpse, DL.
Well, thank
Beautiful.
Thank you.
I would use the sake. I would use the Snow Queen sake because I love the cloudy sake, and it has a very crisp taste. And you could put just about any kind of fruit with it, and it's just intoxicating. I mean, it is, but it's good too.
Coconut sake.
I'm willing for that. I'm willing to try that.
Rum chata.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because I like rum chata.
Well, there's that.
Yeah.
See, I'm not much of a white chocolate fan, but if there is a way to make Kahlua like a little
white Russian, preferably without milk, because some of us can't tolerate dairy.
Maybe use coconut milk.
Oh God, this is the Yeti hole all over again.
What?
Oh, yeah. So we made a drink, an alcoholic beverage, 2 years ago now. The Flaming Yeti Hole.
That just sounds like diarrhea.
So we actually had one of our viewers try to create this on a separate show.
Was it diarrhea? I'm just
We
curious.
actually no, but we did. Hey, see,
Thanks, Dan.
Dan remembers. So we actually did try to recreate this on a different show, and it was set on fire. It was beautiful. We couldn't get it to actually set on fire, so we just held up a candle behind it.
It was set on fire. It was beautiful.
No White Claw.
No White Claw.
No White Claw.
No. Yes.
No.
Boo hiss.
Claw in general.
Oh, no. Okay, I'm going to say no. So Eli is asking if Bloody Mary would count as the White Lady. No, I really do not believe she is. I think
they
that
have a
Bloody
red lady, though.
Yeah, I think that Bloody Mary actually ties into Typhoid Mary, which is a totally different entity in itself.
Oh no, we have another show we have to do in the future where we all get together and talk about these guys.
Can we do a Bloody Mary show where we're just like,
hell yeah!
Mary.
That would be.
I will bring Amir up here and I will do it on air.
You do Bloody Mary.
I have a great story about
we'll
that.
Go like battle pogs with Bloody Mary and Candyman.
Yes.
I
Okay,
do
we all
have
have to
Amir
get
right
one of those.
here,
Can
guys.
we summon Tony Todd? I'm just curious. If we can summon Tony Todd, I'm good with that.
We'll all summon our own being, okay?
Okay.
And then see who makes it to the morning. It's like a
No.
game. I love
The
it.
scholars are here going, no.
No, we're not going to do that.
Eli,
that would
likes
make a
it.
great horror movie. Having like all of the regular people are like, oh yeah, let's play with the Ouija board and oh look a puzzle
Nope.
box. And then there's the one Scottish person who's over there like, no.
No.
Are you guys?
No. I'm sorry. It's not just the Scottish person. It's the Southern person. There is some Southern backwoods Tennessee girl out there going, hell no, we are not doing that shit. That is how demons show up in your house and start drinking all your liquor. And the next thing you know, you're married to it.
It's my
You guys. I do have a Ouija board in the next room on my son's
No.
wall. So if you want me to go get it.
No. Perfect time to bring it out. You have a house full of
I
little
have.
girls that are curious.
I have Ouija boards. I just don't.
I got
like
it for my son
anything
for
that's-
Christmas.
It's
he
not a damn toy. What the
Oh my
hell is
goodness,
wrong
Thank
with
you,
people?
DL.
guys,
Thank you for saying that.
Guys, we have this tradition called the evil pickle, where we have an evil pickle hidden on
I
our
am-
tree.
Familiar with a pickle. It's not a damn Ouija board, though.
No, so whoever found the evil pickle this year got a Ouija board, and my son found it, so he received the Ouija board. Honestly, I thought it was a good gift for an evil pickle.
Bear with me. Okay. I am going to quote my long deceased grandmother. No, we do not play with the Ouija board. If you play with the Ouija board, you invite in spirits that you do not want. You do not get to pick and choose which spirits come into your house. Do not bring in the Ouija board. It is a doorway to things you do not know.
So what you're telling me is I shouldn't have hung it on the wall.
No.
I mean, I have one on my wall. No
Okay,
one's playing with it.
Thank
Okay, if
you,
things start
Lauren.
flying off your wall, then
Thank
you need to call DL, okay?
No,
See,
don't call
I
DL.
don't-
Do not call DL. DL is not an exorcist. DL was just mock you and make fun of you.
Hey,
You shouldn't
hey.
have done that shit in the first place.
So you said if it's flying off the wall, right? So technically, our
Define
Ouija board,
flying off the wall.
so our
Or
Ouija board
leaking.
is actually a flag. So it does wave
the hell?
sometimes.
No, that's air. I am actually talking about the thing that is created that you use to summon spirits. It is not necessarily called a Ouija board. Sometimes it's called generally I
A
refer
Luigi
to it
board?
a spirit board.
An Ouija board?
Ouija board. Oh, you
A
guys.
Ouija board.
Do not get me started on the Ouija board stuff. Oh my god. Magda does not play with the Fae. I do not play with Ouija. No. And there are reasons that we do not play with the Fae and we do not play with Ouija. And
I play with Luigi, but that's because the player one's usually Mario.
I didn't say Luigi. I said Ouija.
Have you not
So-
seen that video? All right. If you are very bored, there is a hilarious video online where someone gets together a whole bunch of questions about Ouija boards, but no one knows how to spell Ouija. And so it's like, how do you use a wedgie board? How, an Ouija board? A Luigi board? Like a Luigi board is on there like 50 times. And it's a hilarious video.
I've seen that.
So guys, I just realized that a lot of comments are about me in the comment section. I was reading them and I was like, oh, thanks,
Is
guys.
that ever a good thing, though?
Yes, actually, the hashtag for our show most of the time is hashtag Keisha be crazy. So
Okay, that works. If it makes
It
you
does
feel any
work.
better, when I was reading your hashtag when we jumped on the show, I misread it and I thought it said must harvest kittens.
What?
Look at her hashtag on her name. My brain
on.
misread it.
Oh my god, I could see that if you had a couple drinks. I have not, but
Must
yeah.
harvest
Lauren,
kittens.
Muti means mom. It's what I grew up calling my grandma. So
I see harvest kittens.
Muti
There
harvest
is harvest kittens there.
Oh, dear.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus. Oh,
What is
I'm so
in
glad
your
that I'm the
pies?
host of a show that is just as chaotic.
Oh my God! What is in
Everybody's
your pies? Remind me never to buy anything from you. Holy cow! I
Where
don't
did we
want
get
a
pies
kitchen
from?
kitten.
What? Oh, meat pies.
So for those of you that aren't aware, I have not eaten meat since I was 16 years old.
Oh wow.
So
Well, your hashtag doesn't say that.
hashtag harvest kittens.
Got you guys a new T-shirt slogan.
Oh my God!
Oh.
Mommy, I don't want to eat kittens tonight.
Oh,
They're
I'm gonna
so
tell-
cute.
I'm going to tell you all about the
I'm keeping the dirtier
The
ones to
Vila?
myself.
which is a kind of a fairy.
Okay, you go. We're good with that. You go. Tell us about the damn fairy.
We're getting back on track. All right, so they're usually friendly to people, but they can take horrible revenge on those who insult them, disregard their orders, or approach their circle dances uninvited. They come in the form of a lady dressed in white. Sometimes they can also do animals, so like a white horse or white insert animal. They're known to assist people on their quest. Sometimes they're also known to like lead them to their deaths. It depends on the person. They don't like dudes. Well, okay, maybe they like single dudes a little too much. Because sometimes they do mess with them. A lot of the similarities between this and the white lady from what I was looking at, and I was just like, oh, I found her. So I was very excited, and I wanted to bring up that specific kind of fae.
Oh, one of the white ladies that I mentioned, the white lady that haunts the bridge of Balgie in Dundee, there are two versions of how she became the white lady. One is your standard scorned woman who's she either unalives herself or was murdered. But there is a second version of it that says that the poor woman was actually plummeted to her death because she was thrown off the bridge by a vindictive witch who lived on the other side of the bridge, where on the other side of the bridge is a cemetery. And so the people that say that she was thrown from the bridge by a witch say that if you look down towards the edge of the river, you can actually see the stone on which she landed, as there's a mark there from where her head hit it.
Oh, so
Okay,
she
are
was-
you
this is Spartan.
saying witch or
Witch,
witch?
yes, witch. W-I-T-C.
Okay, thank you. Okay. I kept hearing both depending on how I was listening to it because I mean
Sorry.
a winch, yeah.
Witch, as in the wicked witch.
This
But that
is
was the only one I saw
Spartan.
that was created specifically through something supernatural and not a situation of unrequited love of one form or another. But I thought that was quite fascinating that a witch just took it into her mind to say, no, don't walk on the bridge. I've decided No, I just literally just threw her off, and that was the end of that. And as I said, the bridge goes from one side to the other, and on one side is a cemetery, and that's where the witch was supposed to have her little hut that she was living in. Apparently, she just doesn't like visitors.
Fair. I don't like visitors either. I would never like yeet them off of a bridge, though.
I 100% would yeet them. I actually
I know I'm
told
lying.
somebody yesterday that I would yeet them out the door.
There were
It was
days
my mom.
that I would.
It's okay. So, no. So, but speaking of, so one of the ones that I was looking up, she didn't actually die of anything tragic. So I was looking up ones in Illinois because that's what I'm currently residing in, and there's one up in Chicago I believe it's called the Hull House. And she didn't actually die of anything malicious, anything bad. She just died of unknown causes, and she said to just haunt the house. Like, it's not supposed to be scary. It's more of a, hey, she just kind of chills here story. Nothing too creepy. I was kind of disappointed, honestly.
So just acknowledge that she's there.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I'm just chilling here. Have a good life.
So I have a question. Has anyone heard of the white lady that appeared at Ogmore Castle near Brigand Glamorgan? Is that
Glamorgan?
I looked up
the one
so
you
many.
were referring to earlier. Okay, so Jane Beck was one of the people that wrote about a white lady. She said it was at that castle, and she was believed to guard a treasure under the tower floor. One man was brave enough to speak to her once on record, and she gave permission to take half the treasure and showed him where it lay. But when he was so greedy as to not return, to return for the, then set upon him, and to his dismay he found she had claws instead of fingers, and with these she tore him to pieces.
Wow.
Interesting.
So that's specific to that castle, that story.
I was about to say, as I said, nearly every castle that exists in all of Scotland has got at least one ghost, and most of them are a lady of one colour or another. They can be white or grey or green or black, and
we just really like to haunt people.
As Laura was saying, especially in places like in Scotland and Ireland and Wales and the UK, depending upon how they react, I should imagine that if we're going to classify them, that it's a 50-50 sort of thing, that there could be a ghost, could be a spirit, but could also be fae, could be a she of some sort, just deciding to have a bit of fun with the mortals, because that's what they do. I mean, it seems like in Scotland especially, a lot of the stories are just so vicious. There's not a lot of fun. There's not a lot of, cutesy sort of playing tricks and pranks and the sort. No, most of Scotland's folklore involves you will be dragged off and you will die. I mean, the Kelpies, everyone loves the Kelpies. They've got the beautiful statues of them there.
Yes.
They have no chill, though.
If you read the stories, they're terrible. They're going to drown you. They will drag you out to sea and they will drown you. And that's the end of it. And the vast majority I've seen, there's all kinds of creepy things in Scotland. Their folklore of one form or another are always about just stay away, you'll die. That's it. Stay away.
And that opens the door for me. So my research, I actually now one of my favorite folklore, one of my favorite tales is obviously La Llorona, which is based out of different regions of Mexico, and she is a little unique because she is somewhere between unrequited love but also loss of children. So the story of La Llorona is that she is the most beautiful woman that exists in her town. Her story goes back to the 1500s. There are a lot of information about her, but she falls in love with this rich man and she wants to be his wife. And he says, yes, I will be your wife, or I will be your husband. However, I don't want children. And so she takes her children and she drowns them in a very specific river. And a lot of this really depends on which version of the tale that you are listening to. But generally, when you are seeing La Llorona as a, what are you looking for? Oh, sorry. Sorry.
ADD.
No. Somebody is looking for my absent spoon. But generally, when you see Llorona, it is a malevolent spirit that is either a harbinger of misfortune that is coming to the living. Most of the time, she is either screaming or crying or a bit of both for her lost children. And her punishment for offing her children or eliminating her offspring is to wander the world or to wander time endlessly searching for them. She can never find them and she can never lay them to rest, therefore she is never resting.
Honestly, she deserves it.
To Susan Smith. I hope she turns into one of those ghosties.
You know, and it's interesting because that tale does coincide with a lot of true crime. It does. Mm-hmm. That story exists. So it's not something that you're looking at going, this is, you know, a story or a tale that is non-existent. This is a made up fairy tale. This is actually something very realistic and true. And I remember hearing about this particular story at a very young age, and she is in movies, she is in music, she is in books. Bear with me, I'm going to pop up a few little things here. So, thank you. I have absinthe, and it makes me happy.
It makes everybody happy. Yay!
Yay, absinthe!
So the legend of La Llorona. I'm sorry. I know I'm saying that wrong. Double L's is a Y. La Llorona is a cartoon animation that I found on Amazon years and years ago that I remember my daughter watching. It was subtitled, but it's the story and it's actually very creepy. There is a series of books from Little Libros in La Llorona is actually one of those stories. It's a counting book. It's a little disturbing.
I need it. I need it.
One dead child.
Two dead child.
That's pretty much it. And honestly, I bought that for my grands because I'm like, oh, they're going to be creepy just like me. And they are horrified. No, but they absolutely are. There are
considering the creepiness of a lot of stories from the Victorian era and earlier.
Yes.
That I don't think we ever grow past that being creepy to children.
No. So generally when people come across her spirit, she is near water, obviously. She is screaming and wailing. If you go on TikTok, if you are a TikTok person like Lauren, you can go look for La Llorona and her like encounters. There's actually one of her supposedly in trees and all this other stuff. But some of the imagery and some of the sounds associated with her are absolutely horrifying. I love any of the artwork, so I have a tendency to gravitate towards that. And there is a tomb for her.
Oh, it's pretty.
And there's actually, I think, two, because these do not appear to be at the same location. But this one in particular, I do believe that the eyes will follow you. And if you get underneath the statue, it looks like she is crying. But a lot of the artwork in association with La Llorona is very it's very childlike. It's very beautiful. This is one of my absolute favorites.
It's beautiful.
I know, it's absolutely stunning. But I think more so than a story of being a ghost story, I think that the White Lady, specifically when it is in reference to love loss, or in this case, loss of children, is more of a morality tale. sharing with you what you should not be doing. We should not ever be drowning our children to go run off with some strange man.
Susan
Or
Smith.
like, don't shoot your fiance in front of a house because you're just like,
True.
I don't like you anymore. I mean, that's probably a good tale to tell. Don't
Honestly,
don't off people, guys.
Honestly, Lauren, you mentioned Susan Smith, and I remember us covering this because she's coming up for parole. And quite honestly, she is the closest thing that I can think to of a real life La Llorona, because of the nature of how she offed her children.
Do you want me to give like a little short, this is the story?
Sure.
All right. So Susan Smith had a husband, had kids. Things were off and on with them. She ended up getting a boyfriend. The boyfriend was very rich. She was head over heels. Boyfriend on her side, he was more like, nah, we're friends with benefits. He leaned more that way. And he ended up writing her a very long letter saying, hey, you're really nice and all of that. But like, I don't see myself going farther with you. I don't want kids. You have kids
like
already.
you, but
I like you, but I'm not a kids person. So her fix for that apparently was to strap her kids. Trigger warning for anyone who does not want to hear details. I'm going to go in a little detail here. Strap her kids into the back seat of her car and drive it off a dock into the river, where it took 6 full minutes for her to stand there and watch the car go under before she decided to start going up to houses saying that a black man had stolen her car and taken off with it with the children.
Oh my.
And she's up for parole this year. She could be free this year.
I hope she burns in hi, guys.
So it's interesting because the tale of La Llorona, she's closely associated with children, obviously. In some stories, she's said to wail for her own lost children or dead children. In many of these stories, she killed her own children when she was alive and is doomed for her actions to be wandering as a ghost. In other stories, she appears mainly to women who have children, while still in others, she kidnaps children who are never seen again. So there's a lot of loose interpretation on the tale, but the truth is, it is a story about a mother who has either lost her children, given up her children for one reason or another. And sadly, there is a lot of that. There are a lot of encounters where people said that they stumbled across her, and that they see her screaming, they see her crying, that sometimes she disappears. There have been stories of people who have encountered her and have never made it to the other side to tell that story. But it is part of Hispanic folklore, but I also feel like it has really become part of American folklore as well. But when you start listening to these stories, it's not just American and Hispanic folklore, it is truly world folklore. I think if you were to start doing the research on women, on these ghosts who lost a child, who were now wondering and wailing for, because La Llorona, I'm sorry, I keep mixing that, I keep flipping that. La Llorona actually means the wailing woman. And that is how she's described, as she is wandering and screaming and crying for children. And I would imagine if you did a lot of research on some of these hauntings, especially the white women, gray women, whatever the case may be, if it's not a love story, it is probably a lost child, a lot of times probably a baby.
Yeah, one of the major ones was old carriage went around a bend too far or too fast, and the baby went flying into the lake, and the women went out to try and find her baby, and they both died. So yeah, that one's pretty common.
But the truth is, if you think about it, what is the most devastating thing that can happen to a woman outside of love loss? And truthfully, there's no comparison. It is the loss of a child, whether they are young, old, they are in utero. If you are somebody who has dealt with miscarriages or stillborn, it is just as traumatizing to a woman as losing a child that's a year or two old. And I have a lot of people who like to say it's not the same, that it doesn't carry the same weight, but yes, it really does, because as soon as you realize this being is inside you and moving, that loss is just as devastating.
I feel like it's just as devastating, but for different reasons. I've struggled with miscarriages, and it was always the thing that always got me was I never even got to meet them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's both equally as devastating, but sorry.
No, honestly, as somebody who has been in your boat and understands from not just miscarriage, but also stillborn, the one thing that you feel coming out of this is that, first of all, you never did get the opportunity to meet them. But other than that is you look at other people and you're like, my body is designed to do this. I am, all of these other people you see, they have healthy children and healthy pregnancies. Why is it that my body is the one that decided not to do that? Because that is both basically supposed to be not the basic function of a female's body, but it is a major function of the female body. And when you cannot fulfill that function, it has a heavy weight on you.
I do feel like this is a good moment to talk about the fact that how stigmatized it is. Almost every woman that I know that has tried to have children has had some sort of loss or struggles. Lauren, have also had, so my two girls are my miracle children. I had to have major surgery and I had to do all that stuff to get them. But there was a lot of loss and trying for the last probably 10 years of my life. I tried for 6 years, no, 11. So I tried for 6 years for my first daughter, which there were certain things that happened, and I tried for 5 years for my second. They are the biggest blessings in my life. But that being said, yes, losing a child, like, it's devastating. No matter how far you think you are, to certain people, like, you can be a week along, and if you lose, it's just a devastating thing.
Also, it's a lot more common than people make it out to be. A lot of people,
it's very hard to talk about.
Yeah, well, it's hard to talk about because a lot of people are like, well, what did you do wrong? Were you smoking? Did you drink?
Did you eat the wrong kind of meat?
Yeah, the wrong kind.
I've had people say that kind of thing to me, and I'm like, okay, are you really that insensitive?
Like, what's wrong
like,
with you?
Do you want me to, like, physically?
Yeah. But it does happen a lot more often than people really do talk about.
Yes.
And there is a very big stigma around it. A lot of times women who are like, oh no, I never had a problem, probably did have a miscarriage and they just didn't even know it, because that does happen a lot.
Very often.
Yeah. Just any uterus owners can have these issues and not even realize it. And then they can also become pregnant and know it and be excited, or not even, you don't even have to be excited. You could literally be like, I don't know what I'm going to do. This is a surprise. But you get attached to this, like, I get to meet, and like you come up with your little nicknames. Like my youngest was Floppy in my tummy, and you get attached to this idea of you're gonna get to meet them, and I don't know. It's absolutely heartbreaking.
So this is our show for some reason always turns into like a therapy session, but I feel like it's always something that people need to hear, because Willow and I are very open to talk about like literally any subject, and it always ends up going somewhere. But I feel like it's also things that people need to hear, and like the whole "you're not alone" thing, because sometimes, like throughout history, you can see all these women that lost something and it meant something to them, and it was a big deal, and yet it's still so stigmatized these days that people don't talk about it, and you're not supposed to talk about it. People don't want to hear about the sad stuff. They don't want to hear about the things that are going to make them upset, which is understandable. And like you said earlier, kind of like a trigger warning you gave, like some people don't want to hear that because it brings up.
But it's important. It's important to talk about.
But it is important.
With me, when it comes to a lot of mental health issues, yes, it's going to make people feel uncomfortable talking about it, but it has to be talked about. Mm. Because that is how we stop the stigma.
Well, guys, that's our therapy session for the night.
Yeah. I just find it funny. We went from like, we're talking about fairies. Now we're talking about ghosts. Now we're talking about women who's murdered their children. And now we're talking about miscarriages. What? ABQR what?
Yeah, that's generally how this show goes.
I feel like it kind of circles back to like a lot of how these stories were created. With some of the stories that of the White Lady in my own city, we have the ghost haunting the Fort Garry Hotel, but I'm wondering if there's two ghosts. Yeah, we have one that haunts room 202. The story behind that is the woman, the husband left the hotel to go grab some medicine, and ended up being killed by a horse and buggy. She found out about the death of her husband, and she ended up killing herself in the closet. And then so yeah, that's ever since then she's trapped on this plane and haunts room 202. There's another story of a woman being murdered in the stairway by her father, who didn't agree with the wedding. So her spirit haunts the stairway of the Fort Garry Hotel. Apparently, they're related. The stories are somehow related, but I think that they're two different stories because I've heard both stories.
I'm so confused. You don't want your daughter to get married, so you'd rather her just be dead?
Yeah, I know. I know, but like I said, I heard these two stories pretty much the whole time that I lived here in Winnipeg, and even my brief time working at the hotel. I'm like trying to find out like what is the actual story behind the hauntings of this hotel, but nobody really had a clear the story kept changing almost every time it was told.
That is such a good writing prompt. Like, here's two random ghost stories from the same hotel. Shove them together and make them work.
Do this thing. Yes.
Can we not? Can we not like say that we want our children dead? Can we just kill the guy instead?
Right?
Amen.
I didn't say that.
But yes,
I did not say that out
I
loud.
agree. 100%. Speaking of children, I have to go downstairs. One of the little girls said that her legs are broken. So
I'm carrying about her.
I feel that
I love y'all.
I love you.
Okay, there, Keisha. I guess this would be a perfect time to end the show. Thank you, ladies, for joining me on this show tonight, and I appreciate you guys telling your stories. And it's definitely something that we can definitely touch on other stories of the White Lady or more myths later on. I appreciate you guys so much. DL, where can we find you on social media?
Everywhere but TikTok. Honestly, I'm on TikTok. TikTok just doesn't like me. But you can find me on Facebook and you can find me on Instagram, and it's DL Memphis. If you're trying to find me on TikTok, it's DL is mildly psychotic.
Oh.
Because
I like your TikToks. TikTok just doesn't like your boobs. TikTok's all like you're boobling too hard.
You know what? And here's the thing: I don't have that much booblage.
I do more than you. I don't know how.
There is.
It's yes, like, Lauren, can we see that before you go? Can we see that lovely little shape? That little. There's a little red shape that look.
Oh, it's a bra.
Oh, that's her little strappy bra. Yeah, is that your Velma bra?
I love it.
Is that the Velma bra?
No, it's a Walmart. Freaking Walmart. Look at the side here. Hang on. What? I know. I was showing my boobs to the
okay. This is not a vendor. Have you ever looked at Naughty Knickers? Naughty NOTTYNICKER.
I have, yes.
I love their products, and they have some of the cheekiest lingerie and bras that I have ever seen, and they come in all kinds of sizes. I am not a sales pitch. I just wear the product because I like it.
Okay, I'll have to definitely look. Lauren, I'm going to have to look for that bra. Wow.
So distracted right now. So distracted right now. I'm sorry. Thank you, Lauren. That was lovely.
Yeah. Okay.
And can I comment? How in the world did this happen, Magda? Why is it I look like a school marm?
Marm?
Marm? No, you don't.
No, I know you're wearing the more Victorian of the sort, and it's usually mine.
Oh my God!
This is the only white thing I had, so you know, that's the white thing I had. Normally, I'm very buttoned up.
Well, my
either
outfit,
you are
that's
or
what
you're
my
not.
outfit
So
fully
cute.
looks like.
So cute.
That's
Look
my
at that.
Victorian ghost
So
bride.
cute. Love it.
Nice.
Absolutely
Very
love
nice.
it.
Very nice.
I'm going to take over. Magda, where can we find you?
I have an Instagram that is Crafty Goth Creations, and that's really about it. I'm not very social. And Lauren, what about you?
You can find me pretty much on any platform. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Geeky Gothic Gamer Girl. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And you are very social.
I try. I burn out quick, but I'm fun while it's still light. Lit, lighting, fire good. Okay.
5 minutes. 5 minutes, grip and grin, and then we're done.
Aubrey, where can we find? Oh, sorry.
No, you got it. You got it.
Where can we find you, Aubrey?
You can find me right here at Miss Kindred Ivy on Instagram. And pretty much just I've been doing my active tarot readings live for the first time. So wish me luck on that, ladies. It was very wonderful. I had some adventures. Good vibes only if anybody needs one.
And you guys can find me all over social media. This show is now being broadcasted on my Twitch channel. So yay! So yeah, you can find me pretty much everywhere. Although I don't use Twitter X much anymore, but yeah, pretty much everywhere else. You can become our super friend at patreon.com/serialboxpod. You can also donate to us if you like the show and want to see us get better equipment and better sets. Then yeah, please do. I won't say no to free money.
Not at all.
I'll probably feel guilty a little bit about it.
Don't.
No.
Just every once in a while.
More wonderful
donate
Willow
to charity.
costume pictures. We want that, right?
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So I'm planning on moving my studio around, making one of my rooms into a studio. So yes, if you want to see me move into a more better space, please feel free to donate to that so that I have, all the cool little trinkets and yeah.
Can I comment something really quick before
yes,
we
go ahead.
away? So, what the hell? Lauren and I and Magda, if she would like to join us, are scheduled to be at Smoky Mountain Fan Fest in August, and we are really excited about this. if you have not visited Smoky Mountain Fan Fest and you have not looked at their page, Lauren, why are you excited again?
Ron Perlman. Okay, sorry.
Ron Perlman. And I'm just going to share with you, I'm excited because Billy Zane is going to effing be there, and I am so excited. I am so excited. It's Billy Zane. It's Billy effing Zane. I know that's not his middle name.
That sounds like a song, DL.
Oh yes,
that sounds like a song.
Dawn says, and Willow can be found on Indie CD as well. So one of my friends hooked me up to be on a website that promotes indie creators. So thank you guys. I appreciate you so much. So yeah, let's end the show so that we can send everybody to bed. Or drink some more.
We'll drink some more. I will probably be staying up. This is my
Good night.
Have a good night, everyone.